I always think of Virgo energy as the proof is in the pudding energy. Having to look at, the details, what's actually going on, what's really there. It's one thing to conceptualize, right? It's one thing to believe and to state and to lead. That's very Leo. That's where we're coming from. But it's another thing to actually see what's going on in the minutia, if you will, as part of a deeper understanding of whom it is that you want to be in those small moments. That's what reveals some truth about you. Virgo as an energy has to do with paying attention. That's what's going to be called for here. Now, how Mars in Virgo will speak to you in your sign depends on your sun, moon, and rising. Take all three signs into consideration and then synthesize the information to make it unique to you. And of course, there are lots more horoscopes available right now over on my YouTube channel at Nadiya_Shah and over in the superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com or at thefutureismagical.com. Aries, whenever it is that your ruling planet Mars changes signs, well, you're going to feel it more than most. It isn't just about this brand new area of life that's getting a whole lot of energy and maybe a whole lot of tension as well. But it's the fact that that area of life becomes especially important for you. You find yourself there. And this is a part of the sky that has to do with your daily life. Your clients, customers, coworkers, immediate supervisors, your work environment, the type of work you do. It has to do with places you frequent and people that you might hire to help you in all kinds of ways, from your hairdresser to more established employees. And it has to do with how well you take care of you routinely, day in and day out. And that includes your health habits and your eating habits as well, your gym habits where that applies. So you can see having Mars here is going to bring a lot of focus and a lot of physical energy, or at least motivation to make changes. It is what you consistently do that adds up to whom it is that you are. And this is where you're focusing in on those consistencies, on the small moments, to remember your great power. Taurus, love, flirtation, what the heart wants in every way, creative fulfillment, and the children in your life. Well, wherever Mars goes, you're getting a lot of focus there. You're going to have a lot of energy poured there. And so, some of you might be getting your flirt on. This is a super passionate energy. It's like a physical wake-up call that comes through desire. It can be super powerful. But it's also where you really start to pour yourself, or at least fight for some creative vision that much more, owning your power to move a creative project in the direction that you choose, whether that's in the process of creation or sharing it. Now, this is a part of the sky that has to do with windfalls and gambling. You do want to be careful. Mars is an agitator. So, I like to say pace yourself and be yourself, but where you're trusting your heart and moving towards those things that make you happy, you can't go wrong. Gemini, home, the past, the living situation, and your family of origin. Well, this brings with it a desire to spend more time at home, be present with your family more, and go home, whatever that might mean for you. Now, for some, that's going to mean actually visiting your parents, for example. For others, that is going to mean wanting to put down roots and understand what that means to you. Others are going to want to connect with the wisdom of the ancestors, or just be home more, be isolated more, and find comfort there in the consistency. Regardless of what it is for you, it is going to be in this space that you find yourself making changes and being a lot more focused on how you can improve things. There can be tension with Mars, but there's also the motivation to do the work that healthy change sometimes requires. And that includes in these key relationships and even your relationship with yourself. Cancer, well, I think having Mars finally leave a financial part of your sky, well, it's going to help you to feel like money just calms right down. And I think that's going to be welcome to a lot of Cancers out there. It is now Mars that is moving on into a part of the sky that has to do with mind, communication, curiosity, learning, speaking. And so if you've got something to express, something to say, this is where you are giving it energy, or at least I would recommend you do, or else what happens is this energy's got to come out some way. and your expression, the way you talk to people, it might be perceived as angry in ways that you hadn't anticipated or even wanted. And so that's something to be mindful of. But this can be great for speaking your mind, especially where it is that you've been afraid to do that before. You will summon the courage. Siblings, cousins, neighbors, these might be people who come into greater focus now. You're pouring a lot of energy towards them as part of fortifying those connections. Leo, Mars leaving your sign, you will feel right as rain. You will calm right down, I will say. And this will be very welcome. I mean, yours is the sign that represents leisure. And so being able to calm down, I think is going to help you in just about every area of life. But now Mars is moving into a part of the sky that has to do with money you earn, money you spend, self-love, self-esteem. So many Leos might experience this financially, where you're focused on where your money's coming from, where you're spending your money, and your understanding of your own worth in terms of what you are generating, what you're giving the universe, and how you feel about what the universe is returning in kind. And being mindful of how you're actually spending, and if it feels like a genuine expression of you or not, you'll be able to see it. But some Leos might not experience this energy financially. It'll be a lot more oriented around the work you will do towards really fortifying healthy self-value and healthy self-love. Regardless, remember, when we have strong financial energy, it means the money you need is there. You're learning spiritual lessons in alignment with abundance. Virgo, Mars entering your sign is going to feel like a massive wake up. The body just wakes up, the energy wakes up, you feel more full of energy, or at least you should really give Mars something to do, because that's what all energies want, is a focus. And giving Mars something to do means that you are being physical, moving, ideally getting yourself into a state of sweat while outdoors is a wonderful way to use this energy to get in touch with your own feeling of power and transformation. In fact, those physical transformations can be especially strong now. See, the thing is, if you don't use this energy towards the change you desire, then what happens is random situations, people that you're close to, they make you mad, and you have a way of like not having as much patience with them. And that's not going to be good overall, not going to make you or anybody else happy. So stay focused on yourself and towards the changes you want in just about any area of life. In many ways, you'll be quite the unstoppable force. Libra, this is where Mars moves into the sign just before yours, and it's about what's happening on levels of soul, psyche, and spirit. And it will be over the course of this time that you are likely to feel that much more in touch with what your dreams are telling you, what's happening in the dream space. It might be hard to get rest as much as you would like, but this can also be wonderful energy for focusing in on meditation and riding the mysteries, as I like to say, aligning with a sense of what's possible for you, where it is that you might be going. And what I really love about these energies is it helps fortify a relationship with spirit. You feel it that much more strongly, and in the most ideal sense, you just might find this passion for recognizing magic everywhere you go. Scorpio, friends and group endeavors. This is where you're spending a lot more time in social situations, in gathering with other people, whether it's professional, personal, or otherwise. Now, sometimes with this, it can feel like a friend is being an aggravator. It's hard to be patient with them. It's hard to see the wisdom in some of their actions, and that really is okay. You do your best, you surrender the rest. In some rare cases, it might really feel like someone ticks you off, and you get to decide if that's going to mean anything going forward and into the future. For all that though, that energy might also show up where you're working within groups towards some professional outcome. And so you'll get to decide whether or not that effort is worth it to you. It is in connecting with others that you see the variety of expression, how others can empower you, but also how it is that they might frustrate you as well. Sagittarius, career, social standing, life purpose, and your understanding of a higher vision for your life. Now, this is Mars. Mars has to do with fighting, and it's fighting for what you want, or at least pouring yourself towards what it is you hope to achieve. What I've found with this overall is people tend to have a deadline. That's what shows up here. There's something you got to get done. Now, whether that is within an organization or workplace, or whether it's guided from within, something that you feel you got to do and you want to get done by a certain date. Yeah, there's that deadline and you're moving towards it with direction, with passion, with focus. And that can give you a real sense of accomplishment, but it's really important to remember to do your rest and surrender the rest. That's a big lesson with Mars. It's not so much about thinking about outward outcomes and what it is that you're manifesting, but rather what you have control over. When you do that, you will connect with a sense of empowerment that can have you making great gains. Now, being straightforward with you, if you know you have a boss who's overbearing or is in some way frustrating, is demanding, even toxic, well, some of those tendencies might stir under this vibration. But for all that, if that does happen, it's all part of helping you to remember your own power and how you're going to use it. Capricorn, long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, and legal matters are covered here. And so, yeah, with Mars here, you're that much more motivated to get out in the world, to be in the world, to connect with the world, metaphorically or literally or otherwise. Now, if you're involved in a legal matter, it's probably going to take more of your attention and more of your energy. If you are in an institute of higher learning, whether you work there, you're a student there, or you've been thinking about being a student there, again, it's getting a lot of your time. You're pouring a lot of yourself and your energy in that direction. For all that though, this can be a very empowering time to contemplate what you believe about the world. Philosophically, spiritually, intellectually, or otherwise. It is about, in some way, understanding how you fit in a larger sense, but also what values and beliefs it's going to be that are going to guide your life. Aquarius, profound change, truth, transformation, and wealth. And so this is one of the other financial parts of the sky. And when we have such strong financial energy, the money you need is there. You're going to be engaging possibly financial institutions, or you're thinking about wealth building and what you can do in a larger sense so that you can move towards a feeling of wealth. That might be financial for many, but that could also be emotional or spiritual wealth as well. This part of the sky having to do with transformation and change, you're very focused in that direction with Mars, and whatever it is you desire to change, getting to the root of it will be that much easier, so that you're facilitating transformations of all kinds, psychological, physical, or otherwise, from the inside out. Pisces, partnership, love is covered here. Those one-on-one alliances, they could be business or personal, but just know when Mars is in your opposite sign, on the one hand, you feel like pouring a lot of your energy and attention towards another person. If you're open to meeting someone new, you're going to likely be a whole lot more courageous in the pursuit, a lot more motivated, a lot more dedicated. If you're in an established bond or even in a business partnership, just know that this can bring with it a layer of some frustration. You feel angry at this person much more easily. And so it is up to you to actually do the work of figuring out whether it's you or them or both. Ultimately, this is powerful motivation towards change. And that, when joined forces with another, can help a relationship evolve, a partnership to become something more than it was before. But of course, the opposite is true as well. If there's problems there already, they're going to show themselves, and you get to decide how you're going to address them. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.